Well, good afternoon, everyone. We're down here at Camp Liberty, still across the street from the prison, and on the back street here. And we had a great day today. It's the end of day 17. So we've had some long days down here. There's a lot of good days, a lot of good visits. Got a lot of updates tonight. I'm going to try to go through. I actually made some notes, so I'm trying not to forget any of these notes. And we'll go over kind of what been going on. Hi, Tammy. How you doing? And Wendy, good to see you. And Matt. Good evening, Michael. So we've got had a great visit with a lot of prisoners today. And we'll go over some of these names. Hi, Holly. We'll wait till a few people get on here, and we'll go over all this stuff. Thanks, Michael. You're awesome too. Laura Jones, and so you see someone says it's not working yet. So I'll also try to take some messages from different people today too. If anybody has anything, they're hi, Sharon from Boise. We'll see if anybody has any questions here, and we'll try to go over and answer a few questions as I can watch all these. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to catch every question, but I'll do the best I can here. So, hi, Denise. But James, I did see your message, James. I haven't answered you back. We've done a lot of visits, so I will get you that address. That we'll make sure that big banner gets here. That would be awesome. We're trying to think of a big banner to go up on the lift so the guys can read it. So maybe that banner will work. It might be too big, but we're going to build something up there that the guys can see. From the prison. Because they can see our flags very well, and right now we've got that. We got two flags up there. We got a normal size flag, and then we've also got a big flag. It looks like everybody's saying it's just spinning here, so I don't know if everybody can see me on here or not. Hi, Sandra. It shows it's working good on my end. Maybe if anybody, hello Wanda, if somebody tells me, I see some people telling me it's freezing. I'm working here, so maybe it's on the other end. Everybody says it's working. I see Terry says it's working fine, and a couple other, Michael says it's working good. So hopefully you might have to reset it on your end if it's not working. But I'm going to go over a few of the names, and I might try to do this a couple of times just to tell you, so everybody doesn't miss out if we get a lot of newcomers on here. But I know that Carol Bundy was here, and so was Lisa Bundy. We had Andrea Parker was here. They was here from out of town, and they come over here to Pahrump to visit their family. We also had some of Cliven's daughters here visiting family. So the guys got a lot of visits, today, and that's awesome. Here's some of the names I know we visited today, so I'll go over those names here. We've got we visited Cliven Bundy, Ammon Bundy, Ryan Payne, Jerry DeLoomis, Eric Parker, Stephen Stewart, Todd Engel, Ricky Loveland, Greg Burleson, and Micah McGuire, and Joe O'Shaughnessy. So this is some of the names that we visited today, and I'll go over those names again as we've done. One new name that I visited today, and a few others, Gavin Syme visited this new name here, and his name is Seth Johnson. It was a name that we got given to us just moments before closing tonight. And so he's got a great story. Kelly Stewart also visited this guy. So we kind of took turns. I visited shortly with Jerry DeLoomis myself. We kind of took turns here. But we visited with, I did myself, Todd Engel, Jerry DeLoomis, and this Seth Johnson. And that's about all the time I had to visit with those three. We kind of took turns. We played musical chairs, and we all got to see different ones of the guys here. Kind of helped out that way. This Seth Johnson, he's from Washington State, or I'm sorry, Oregon. He's actually from Oregon, and he's been sitting in prison. Now he's in there on a probation violation, and I won't go over all of what his deal was, but he is in there on a non-violent crime, and he is in there for a victimless crime. These crimes that the government comes up with, you can't even call them crimes. They're made-up regulations and things that they lock these guys up on, and they keep them locked up for a long time, away from their family, without bond, without any pretrial release. And it's just totally wrong that they do this to so many people. We're hearing about, I see a lot of people say that it's frozen and shut down. A lot of people's not seeing this. And I see Sherry says it's working just fine, and Craig says it, so I'm not for sure what's going on. I've got plenty of phone service here, so Brandon says it's working good, so I don't think it's on my end, but we'll hopefully it's not, and we'll just keep going here. So this Seth Johnson is one of the new names that we learned of today. We learned of several. Each one of us tried to get a name or two from a prisoner that of another prisoner that needed visits. Seth Johnson asked me to. I said, "Is there any music you like?" And he said he thought about it a moment. And he said he would like to hear the song by Righteous Brothers, the song "Unchained." So we set up a time, and after I left there, I went behind the prison, and I put a loudspeaker up on the roof of my van, and I played this song "Unchained" as loud as I could from the back of the prison. And he called me afterwards, and he said that that he could hear it. It put a smile on his face, and he was just so tickled pink. His wife talked to me just a moment there too. She patched in the call, and so he said he was just in tears by hearing that song. And I played a half a dozen songs or so for a half hour, so that everybody could make sure they heard it. And I played that song several times, so it made his day. Today was an emotional day. You sit in there with these guys in jail, and they're telling their stories. You're listening to it, and no one seems to care on the outside. These guys get forgotten, and they get left behind, and their families get left behind. They're running out of money. Their businesses they had, their jobs they had, get forgotten. And sometimes these little bitty lifelines that we give them, like we're doing here, gives these people hope that there's someone out there that really cares. And that's what he said today. He said him and his wife was just amazed that there were still good people out there that cared about people they didn't even know. We want to hear their story, and we're telling these people, we want to hear your story. Tell us what you got. Whether you're guilty or not guilty, we want to hear it. We want to be there for you. And that's what a ton of people here from Camp Liberty this morning went in and done. We showed we cared, we visited people, and so we had some awesome visits. And Jerry DeLoomis, he's another great guy. I talked to his wife, Susan DeLoomis, here and there a few times a month, maybe once or twice a week sometimes. And she's all the way out in New Hampshire, and she's doing everything she can to even help us. She's offering to send us jury notification pamphlets, wanting to get a billboard. And her husband's sitting in here. She's a political prisoner's wife, and is unable to be out here because of her mom that she's taking care of. Instead of putting her mom in a nursing home, she's taking care of her at home, and which is very commendable of her doing that for her own mom. And so it's amazing to see these such nice people. Jerry DeLoomis also said that that 8 people in his pod was baptized today. And he said this is only the second time, the chaplain said, the second time since this chaplain has been a chaplain here that's ever happened in this prison that they've ever had baptismals. So they had it one other time in a day, 8 prisoners were baptized. And Jerry was just so thrilled to be able to tell us about that, and he was just very, 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 very upbeat today, and it was just awesome to talk to him. So he said there's a reason why he's in there, and he says whatever the Lord has for him, he's ready for it, whether it's a prison sentence or in jail, that he is doing what he can do best in there, and he's ministering to these people, he's preaching to these people. And every one of these political prisoners I'm talking to, and even this Seth Johnson, these men are good men. You can tell they are by their spirit, by what their work they're talking about, what they're doing in this prison among each other. And Seth Johnson wanted me to also mention that there's a guard here that's in his pod, and that he needed to make a phone call out that was kind of an emergency. And normally he cannot do that. And this guard took him into an office and made sure that he was able to make this phone call that was an emergency to talk to family and deal with some situations back home. And so he said there are good people in there. There's very few, but at least there are some people that care. And he said he wanted to give credit where credit's due, and that there are good people in CCA that's working here, and he's thankful that at least there are some good people in there. And so he wanted me to mention that too. Todd Engel today, I talked to him for quite some time, and Todd Engel, he kind of touched my heart back during the trial, him fighting his own battles and trying to represent himself in court, and the judge just kept shutting him down and not letting him represent himself. And overall, Todd Engel did very, very, very well. He inspired us in the audience as observers, and it was just a good. We just really enjoyed it. But Todd Engel, they found him guilty, as we know, on 2 charges. The jury did, and the jury were so conflicted that it was 2 of the minor charges of all of them. So we know that he's charged. We know that Todd Engel's planning on appealing those 2 charges, but he said appealing it, he could do more time sitting in jail yet longer than the time that he's even going to get if they come on the sentencing in this. And he's been there 16 months, and he could just get time served, which is what the law actually says that these charges are charged for. So, but the prosecutors, this is some new information we just got tonight. The prosecutors are trying to make a deal with Todd. So, this is after he's been found guilty by the jury of his peers, only on 2 charges. The prosecutors decided to drop the other 8 charges. And I talked to Todd about this before I'm going public with this. Todd said it was fine to go ahead and go public. So I want everybody to know. But the prosecutors, you know how they make a person do a plea deal, or trying to get people to take a plea deal before trial. This is after trial. This is after he's been found guilty by the jurors, and he has a case of appeal, and he will win in the appeals because we know how the case went. The prosecutors are trying to make him a deal that he will not appeal. And if he will not appeal the case, they're trying to offer him a deal that he gets time served. If not, they're going to ask for 30 years in prison. 30 years, guys. Can you imagine that they're trying to make a deal with a guy that has been found guilty of false charges, and he should get no more than a year to 2 years in prison, and now they're trying to make him a deal afterwards, after he's been found guilty? They don't have a case here. That's what we want everybody to understand. There is no case here. These prosecutors are grabbing at straws. They're even trying to get the people that have been found guilty to take deals with them after they've been found guilty because there's no case. They're afraid that when Todd Engel appeals this, that he will win. And this kind of stuff is hidden. That's why they got these guys in jail, and that's why they're not letting them out on appeals. letting them out on pretrial release. They don't want this out there. If they didn't have friends on the outside, their voice would be silent. Just like this Seth Johnson, his voice is silent because he can't speak. His family doesn't have the finances to fight it. We are their voice. We are the people that are out here. We need each and every one of you to see this type of stuff happening. Visit somebody in your own hometown. If you cannot come to Nevada, you cannot go to Oregon to see these guys. If you cannot go to down to Alabama, if you're in some other state, whether it's Michigan, Texas, wherever it's at, find a prison near you. Check out the rules. Go in there, change things, make a difference. It's going to take us as the people to take back this country and expose what's going on. Because what we've got here, we've got government abuse on every single level here. That's what's so bad about it. We've got the local sheriffs that are afraid to stand up because they're protecting a corporation. They're allowing abuse of prisoners in here, locking them up in 3-foot by 3-foot jail cells, shower cells, and leaving them in there for 13 hours with their hands cuffed behind their back. And it is true. Sheriff Mack drove right past Camp Liberty, and I just seen the message on here, and he came out here and he talked to Ammon Bundy, and he pretty much ordered Ammon Bundy to tell us to leave. Are we making a difference? Or are we hurting things out here? Why is Sheriff Mack, why can't he stop in here and come and see me himself? He talked to me on the other day on the phone about 2 or 3 weeks ago, about 2 or 3 days before I got here. So almost 3 weeks ago, and I've been here 17 days now. Sheriff Mack talked to me personally on the phone and said he would look into this and see what he could do. That Sheriff Sharon down here, the sheriff, was a good person, a constitutional sheriff, and that he could call her and come and see her, and he would do that. Well, he did. Almost 3 weeks later, Sheriff Mack shows up to check out the abuse here. So he goes down and talks to the sheriff, supposedly. I don't know the conversation there, and he comes over and sees Ammon Bundy. And he tells Ammon Bundy to tell us to leave. So what's the deal there? Why does he want us to leave? Why can't Sheriff Mack come down here and ask us to leave? Say, your work's done here. I've done investigated it. I don't find anything wrong here. You guys just need to go ahead and go home. There was no abuse. He didn't stop by here and talk to us. He drove on back home. A constitutional sheriff, he doesn't even believe in the Constitution. He's sticking up again for the corporations and money. That's what it comes down to. When our sheriffs are protecting corporations and money over the people, there's something wrong in this country. And my question is, has Sheriff Mack sold out too? Where's he actually at? Where are these individuals at? We've got a lot of politicians from across the country that are listening to us and that haven't sold out. We have some right here in this county, in Nye County, Nevada, that haven't sold out. But there's so many that has. And it's the money. And it comes down to it every single time, and we keep hearing it over and over again. So Todd Engel, he says that he's not going to take this plea deal like that unless they agree that they're not going to pick up his charges again and keep him in jail longer, that they're not going to, that they're just going to let him out of jail. But he's not going to sit there for another 2 years while they decide if they're going to recharge him or not. And that is a big, big deal there. Trying to catch some of the messages on here, so I'm going to stop just a second here just to read this here. I'm not for sure why the videos are stopping and going. I apologize out there. I see so many people that says it's working, but these prisoners in there, though, have been thanking us. Todd Engel was almost in tears today, thanking us for being out here, that we were making a difference inside this jail. They hear us when we play the music. They see our flag that's back there up on that big crane. Seth Johnson from Oregon said he sees he also sees the crane, and he sees some of our vehicles come around from his window. And so each and every one of these prisoners said we have been bringing something good. These prisoners, you got to remember back when we first started, when they had the lockdown, these prisoners in 2 pods, a couple hundred of prisoners, also went on a protest in there. Over 100 of them sat in their beds all day long, would not get off their bed to even eat. Another 100 of them sat in chairs and refused to comply that day peacefully. They sat there. And that lockdown didn't last very long. We had, the prison was locked up. They had 2 vans the very first few days we were out here blocking the entrance. And every single time the CCA, Correctional Detention Center here, every single time they have made a false complaint against us, it has proven to be false. We haven't did one single offense here, one single thing illegal. When we were asked to move from the other property, after we were told, we moved to another place and we got permission from the landowner. The march around the walls here of this evil prison, we have gotten permission to go there. It's a public easement all the way around. Everywhere the enemy has tried to stop us, we have gotten nothing but good report and people who have supported us from all over. There is a lot of good people in this community, delivering us food, offering us their homes for showers, renting us motel rooms for showers, or places to stay. It goes on and on. Loaning us a truck with a big sign on it, bringing us down ice chests and ice and cases of water. Trying to think of some of the other things. We got flags donated by the community. We've got just tons and tons of anything we needed. Cots, lawn chairs, tents. We have been having a camper brought down here for us to use as a bunkhouse. So there's been so much stuff here. Porta potties, a dumpster for 3 trash. It has been, we don't have to worry about trying to haul our trash off somewhere. So, and these are the locals. And I see Ty says I'm like tired. I am tired. The heat out here has been hot, and it's been very warm today. And this heat I'm not used to at all. But I'm still standing here strong. We're all doing good. It's been a long day today. We got up early, but we are doing good, and we're still strong. The night comes, the sun goes down, and I get a good night's sleep every night. But this heat does take it out of you. And we had a long day today because of the march and doing visits. We got to keep dehydrated for sure. Eat and hydrated because we've been drinking tons and tons of water. I know I have by myself. And I see a lot of messages here, so I'm trying to keep on there. I'm sorry, Peg, it keeps cutting off there, but we are doing good. We're doing strong, and hearing these good words from the prisoners in here, telling us that they appreciate us here, keeps us going and keeps us strong out here. And that's what we're trying to do, is encourage their spirits, because being in there for 16 months, it's like 400 and close to 80 days. And I don't know the exact date, but 480 days they've been in here. We've been down here 17 days. You got to think about that. 17 days here camping out when we have it 10 times easier than what they have it in there in that 480 days. So it's not that long, really. Let me see here. So the visits, I'll go over the visit names again for the newcomers that we visited today. And so here's a bunch of places where everybody's been coming from, because I miss a lot of the states, and I still might miss some of the states here, but I'm going to go over the states that I know people have come from. And one I want to give a thank you out to is Robert from Oklahoma. Robert came all the way from Oklahoma. I didn't really get to talk to him much because there's so many people here, but Robert today, this gentleman, carried a flag and walked around the walls of Jericho here, this prison, this evil prison. He walked around it 7 times a day. It takes us an hour to walk around this place. And this Robert, this brother from Oklahoma, came down and he walked around for 7 hours from this morning till he left the day. And I don't even know how many hours he did it. It might have took him longer than 7 hours. But this brother, I wish I could have shook his hand and get to know him a little better, because that was awesome. Nobody asked him to do it, but he came all the way from Oklahoma to march around this prison here. We've had people here from Arizona. We've had people here. We have still people here from Pennsylvania. We've had people from Colorado, Arizona, Oregon, Idaho, Washington, California, Michigan, Nevada. We're right here from Texas and West Virginia. In Oklahoma, several people came from Oklahoma. Another lady named Cindy came, and she's a minister, and she went in here and visited the guys on several occasions. I think Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here she visited different prisoners in there, and she had to go home today. So we want to give a thank you out to Cindy also for coming out and visiting our political prisoners. And she visited them as clergy also, so it didn't take any visits away from any of the families that come in and visit. And she got to visit multiple of the prisoners too. So the prisoners we visited today was that I know about, and I may be missing some off my list because I didn't get to talk to everyone, but Cliven Bundy, Ammon Bundy, Ryan Payne, Jerry DeLoomis, Eric Parker, Stephen Stewart, Todd Engel, Ricky Loveland, Greg Burleson, Micah McGuire, Joe O'Shaughnessy, and we also got to see this new gentleman that's from Oregon, and his name is Seth Johnson. And I had just an awesome visit with this guy, and he even called me here afterwards. And after the visit, I went around back and I played his favorite song that he asked me to play, which is Righteous Brothers. But the name of the song was Unchained, and he was in tears today. For real, he was just so thankful that someone cared about him and come out and visited him. And if we've got new names while we're here still standing, if we get new names, we'll visit new people. I don't think anybody visited Ryan Bundy, but I know his wife was out yesterday, I think it was, so she might have visited him. These are just the names I know about today, but Angie did come out, and I think she did visits. I know that Carol Bundy was out yesterday and the day both, and she visited with Cliven and some of the others. I know they visited with Ammon. Some of Cliven's daughters were out here. Andrea Parker came all the way from Idaho to visit Eric Parker, and she made visits yesterday and the day with her children. And so I know I'm forgetting some names, but that's some of them I know for sure. And multiple of us others went in and visited. Gavin Syme went in and visited. Kelly Stewart went in and visited. We visited multiple people. And there were several others. I know that Ken from Michigan, he went in and visited today. And Jenna from over in California, she went in and did some visits. And we've had, like I said, Cindy from Oklahoma did too. We've got, so them are some of the names I know that visited. I know Lisa Bundy was in here too and visited with Ammon Bundy. So we had a lot of people here today from different places. So, but other than that, we've had a great last 17 days. With the weather back and forth, the heat, the wind, but it's still been awesome to be out here because we know we're doing something good for our brother, and these men are our brothers that are sitting in jail, being held there unjustly, and they should not be held there that way. This Seth Johnson, he's probably going to be leaving this prison on a, there goes a prison van right there behind me. I think they've changed some of the routes for the prisoner vans since we've been back here on this street, and now a lot of the prison vans and buses we're seeing going up to the next exit. The guards have pretty much stopped going back and forth through here. They'll sometimes come up on that knoll over here behind us. Let's see if we can get it over there. But that embankment over there, they come up and they'll walk up there and count us from there. But other than that, their vehicles have pretty much stopped coming and harassing us back here since we made some complaints about them. And CCA did give me a call back on them complaints and said they were going to talk to the warden and take care of these issues. And so far, the complaints that we have made on those have been taken care of. We're still waiting to hear back on the fence in the back, how they erected a fence overnight without a permit, when us as civilians out here, we have to have a permit, which is still unlawful, but I can see it how it would be lawful for a corporation to get a permit, but just not us as free people. But that kind of sums it up. But I was saying Seth Johnson, the new person we visited today in jail, He said he'll be leaving out of here about 5 o'clock in the morning. If not this morning, tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock. And that he will be on a van and a bus leaving here for a new destination. And he is supposed to be getting out of prison on August the 28th. And that will be in Sheridan, Oregon is where he's going to be released from, if I remember correctly. So we're going to try to get some people to meet his family there and welcome him out of jail when that time comes. I'm going to look at some message. If anybody has any questions here, please throw out some questions for me, and I'll try to answer those before I hang up here. It's important stuff, Denise. That's right. How much money was raised for the defense fund? That number is right about $40,000 right now, James. About $25,000 of that was raised right here on the ground by being in this torture chamber that's over here behind me. And the other $15,000 Kelly Stewart raised in a little small fundraiser that she did. And I'm not for sure exactly what all happened there, how she did, but I know she was doing that on her own kind of before we started the torture chamber. But we were right around $40,000 so far. Someone asked here, why was Seth Johnson in prison? Why is he here? He ordered some parts off of, and can't tell the whole story today, all the details, but he ordered some parts off of the internet for gun parts, and he made his own guns. And he ordering these parts, he did not know he was supposed to take this gun down to the ATF and have them stamp it. Stamp it with a number of some sort. So he made a gun, and he was convicted over a gun charge, and that's a victimless crime that should not be anyway. Your Second Amendment right doesn't say nothing about taking a gun down and having it stamped by the ATF. And he never ever shot anybody with his gun. He's never ever been in trouble with the law for anything else. Somebody told on him, and Cynthia Prim says $3,000 during the 2-day raffle. That's awesome, Cynthia. We have a lot of items down here, Cynthia. We got to figure out how to get to you, and we've got to get you these items that we have raised for you to auction off for the political prisoners also. So hopefully we'll get those things together here shortly. So that's what Seth Johnson was locked up for. It was for a gun charge. He stood on the Second Amendment. That's right. We must pray for Seth. That is exactly right. We got to keep praying for him. And these regulations that they have regulated out our Constitution. We don't even have a Constitution anymore because of how they regulated all of our constitutional rights away. And you have to have permits and permission to do any of our constitutional rights. You got to buy a permit to have your First Amendment right. It's you have to have a permit to have a gun in most places. That's not constitutional. That's buying a license to do something that was already lawful. So if they can sell you a permit, and we got it, we're all sold out that we have to buy a permit every time. They can take that permit away from you at any time they want to also, and that's what you got to understand. I know that we have a bench down here, Cynthia, that's all signed. That's from Camp Liberty, one of the Bundy benches. We have a Gaston flag that is ready to. It is all signed and ready to get to you too. So we got several items to get down to you to be auctioned off. Everybody, Jeremiah, should be gathering all across the United States and making a change. If it's not here, your own home state. That's my outlook on it. We need to be camping out in the backyard of every single private prison like this across the country. Make a statement. These guys in here, 1,100 guys, and I honestly have not heard one complaint from any of these guys in here about what we're doing. I pulled into the prison today with my van with all my signs on it, and there was 2 pods open when I pulled in, and they're open towards the parking lot, and all my signs on it. You can read it right. I'm just right there by them 2 pods, and all them prisoners. All I could hear them prisoners say is, John, hi brother. All these prisoners were yelling. Dozens of prisoners were hollering, love you brother, and it was just awesome to hear it. It gave me chills just and goosebumps just hearing their voices yell at me from their prison pod, knowing it was me pulling in with my van. All these prisoners that I don't even know were excited. They were waving their shirts and yelling, and that was just an awesome feeling to know that we're here for these guys and we haven't forgotten about them. So the plan is tonight is I'm planning on going into the torture chamber tonight, and I think Kelly Stewart is also. That's the plan. It's been a long day. We're both exhausted with everything going on and all the visits and the heat, but we're gonna wait till it cools down. And sometime here tonight, we've got a double torture chamber over here. If you can see that, let's see if we can move it around. We got 2 torture chambers built side by side now, and we're gonna wait for the heat to cool down a little bit, and we're planning on going into that torture chamber sometime tonight, and we'll see how long we can last handcuffed behind our back. And it's too dangerous and too much heat during the day to do it, so this is we haven't had really anybody going in there for a long time because of the heat during the day. So anybody that's been going in there just been spending a few minutes, maybe taking some pictures. But tonight is the night we got planned to go into that torture chamber back there, and we'll do some live streams when we do that. And I wish it would rain here. We need. I'm missing the rain. I didn't think I would say that from Portland. It rained all the time over there, and but right now I'm missing the rain. So tonight is the night that we're planning on going in there. I know it might be late for some of you that are a long ways off on the East Coast, but it's or even Norway. I know it's like maybe 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning right now in Norway for the ones that get on and watch us from there. But Jeremiah says he's in Portland. I bet it's way cooler than over here. But yeah, we need to do a rain dance or something, because I think rain would feel good right now, and the desert doesn't get much of it out here. But so that's about all I can think of right now. I know Gavin says he's planning on going in too. It's just we've had a lot going on, so he might get to go in before he takes off. He might be in here tonight. I don't know. But I'm planning on going in there myself, and I know Kelly's planning on going in there if everything works out, and we will definitely keep you updated, and we will do another live stream when we do that. We won't keep the live stream, I don't think, going all night. It'll be just too hard to keep it on, but we'll at least do it for the first half hour or so after we get in there. Then we'll shut the live stream off, and I'll see if I can stay comfortable in there, sleep, stand up, or whatever I got to do to stay going all night. But I don't know if I can make it all night. It's very uncomfortable because a guy my size can't even really sit down in there comfortably, let alone lay down and sleep. So we'll definitely try it. We'll keep you updated as soon as we know that. I'm going to guess that it could be 10 o'clock tonight when we do it. I'm not positive, but we talked about a 9 or 10 o'clock time. Ammon Bundy was put in the this 3x3 torture shower cell. I think it was 11 o'clock at night, and he was kept in there for 13 hours, and that's a long time to be in there. So God bless everybody. Thank you for joining us here. And it says right now it's light outside Norway right now. From 3 a.m. to 11 p.m. in summertime. So it looks like it's going to be about this Nevada time, somewhere right around 10 o'clock is probably when we'll get in there. So yeah, there will be someone for sure that'll be close by, and we don't want to mention about the the scorpions or the bugs, because Kelly's already worried about those crawling around at night. But I'm not scared of scorpions or snakes or bugs, but Kelly is. So we'll see how that plays out here. But she even mentioned that earlier. That's why I brought it up. But we'll have somebody checking on us and making sure we're okay. You got to remember, that jail cell over there is not as confined as what Ammon Bundy's was. These are made out of PVC pipe, and we can walk out of this anytime we actually want. It's made for looks, so if we have to, we can walk out and go get help if everybody was sleeping. Ammon didn't have that choice. He was put in a concrete shower cell, 3 foot by 3 foot, with a steel door, and it was closed. And he was locked in there. They would come and check on him every now and then. And at the end of 13 hours, he was so exhausted. He was laying there, slumped over in that cell, and he could not help himself up. That the guards had to help him up. So he was unable to help himself. I see that Lorene says put peppermint oil and water, keeps bugs away. So don't tell Kelly about that trick. I'll try that myself, and maybe the bugs will go over her way instead of my way. So other than that, we'll come back on here sometime about 10 o'clock-ish, we hope, and we will I should have the patch on. I took the patch and the not guilty. I do have a P3 patch, James, and I actually took one of them off today and gave them away to a young lady that was here. And then I took the not guilty button off of I took a not guilty button off of David Zion Brugger and gave it away too today. So we've had a lot of people coming and going, and so we've been giving them away off and on. But I've got more of them. And I'll try to wear that button here tonight when we go into there. Vinegar works too, Lindsay says. So don't give all those secrets away to Kelly. I'm going to try them to keep the bugs away from me. And maybe Kelly won't last as long as I'm going to last in there. That's the plan. But we're not going to hurt ourselves. We're just going to try to mimic and replica a little bit of what Ammon went through when he was in there for 13 hours. And I don't expect us really to make it that long at all. The heat and the temperatures out here is sometimes a little bit more harsher than might be inside of there, because inside of there he was freezing cold, and out here it's pretty hot here in the desert. So, hi Deborah Sue, and I see Teresa's on here, and Mike Achenbach from Washington. Thank you for joining us, and we're going to sign off for now, and we'll be back here in a few hours when we go into the torture chamber. Thanks a lot, everybody, and God bless.